Hello, guys. Today we explore a formidable figure who dominated the turbulent waters and political landscape of 16th century Ireland. In an era when women were largely confined to domestic spheres, this woman shattered societal norms, rising to become a chieftain by land and a notorious commander of a vast fleet by sea. Her life was a testament to extraordinary leadership, strategic brilliance, and an unyielding determination to protect her clan's independence and way of life amidst the Tudor conquest of Ireland. In the wild, untamed western reaches of 16th century Ireland, where the Atlantic winds sculpted the rugged coastline and ancient Gaelic traditions clashed violently with encroaching English power, a figure of audacious independence and formidable might emerged from the spray and the salt, a force of nature as untamed as the ocean itself. Grace O'Malley, circa 1530 to 1603, known in Irish as Granuaile, was no mere chieftain's wife, no demure lady of the manor. She was the pirate queen of Ireland, a legendary sea captain and clan leader whose very existence was a continuous, thrilling scandal against the rigid norms of her time. Operating off the treacherous western coasts during the formidable, iron-fisted reign of Queen Elizabeth I of England, Grace became a living legend for her unparalleled audacity, her ruthless skill in naval command, and her unyielding, defiant refusal to bow to any authority but her own. She commanded ships and warriors with an iron fist, defended her ancestral territories with fierce, bloody determination, and even dared to meet the English monarch, Elizabeth I, in London to negotiate the liberation of her son. An act of incredible political and personal strength, a true clash of queens, in an era utterly dominated by men and the brutal, relentless forces of colonization. Born into the powerful O'Malley clan, a seafaring lineage that controlled a vast stretch of coastline in County Mayo, Grace's destiny was steeped in the rhythm of the waves, the scent of salt, and the clang of swords. From a young age, she defied every expectation placed upon a girl of her station. Legend, whispered through generations, says she demanded to go on a perilous trading voyage with her father, and when her mother, aghast, refused because her long, flowing hair would get caught in the ship's ropes, Grace famously, defiantly, cut it short with a knife, earning her the indelible nickname Granuaile, bald grain. This early, audacious act of self-mutilation and defiance foreshadowed a life spent challenging every single norm. She learned to sail with the cunning of a seasoned mariner, to fight with the ferocity of a seasoned warrior, and to command with an innate authority from childhood, mastering the treacherous waters of the Atlantic and the brutal, cutthroat realities of clan politics. Her true education was not in courtly manners or needlepoint, but in naval tactics, ruthless survival, and the art of wielding power. Her first marriage, around 1546, was to Donal and Chogade O'Flaith Donal of the Battles, chief of the O'Flaherty clan, a union intended to solidify clan alliances. This political arrangement, however, soon became a dramatic stage for Grace's burgeoning, untamed power. When Donal was brutally killed, likely in a bloody skirmish with a rival clan or English forces, Grace, instead of retreating into the expected subservience of widowhood, seized command of his formidable castles and his entire fleet of swift galleys. This was a profound disgrace in an age where women were expected to be subservient, mournful, and confined to domesticity. She not only managed his affairs with an iron grip but actively led his men into battle, demonstrating a natural authority and tactical brilliance that few men, let alone women, possessed. She became the de facto Dark Lady of Doona, commanding a fearsome pirate fleet that mercilessly plundered English and rival Irish shipping, leaving a trail of terror and seized riches in her wake. Grace O'Malley's reign as a pirate queen was marked by ruthless efficiency, strategic brilliance, and an insatiable hunger for power. Her fleet, composed of swift, deadly galleys, dominated the churning waters off the west coast of Ireland, preying mercilessly on merchant ships, exacting crippling tolls, and raiding coastal settlements that dared to defy her will. She was an absolute master of naval warfare, using her intimate knowledge of the intricate coastline, hidden coves, and shifting tides to her immense, deadly advantage. Her reputation spread like wildfire across the seas, a terrifying legend for English sailors who whispered her name in fear, and a symbol of fierce, unyielding independence for her beleaguered Irish kin. Her personal life was as unconventional, as scandalous, and as untamed as her public one. After Donal's death, she famously, audaciously, divorced her second husband, Richard Burke, known as Iron Richard, after just one tumultuous year. In an act of breathtaking defiance, she locked him out of Rockfleet Castle, her stronghold, and, from the battlements, declared with chilling finality, "I dismiss you." A bold and utterly unheard-of act for a woman in the 16th century, even within the more flexible Gaelic laws. She then took a young, handsome lover, Hugh de Lacy, further flouting every societal expectation and inviting the wagging tongues of gossipers. When de Lacy was brutally killed by the rival MacMahons, Grace, consumed by a cold, burning vengeance, launched a devastating attack on their castle on Clare Island, earning her another fearsome nickname, the Queen of Umaril, a title earned in blood and fire. Her personal passions were as fierce, as untamed, and as dangerous as the very seas she commanded. The English crown, under the formidable, iron-willed Elizabeth I, viewed Grace not as a legitimate chieftain, but as a dangerous, intractable rebel and a notorious pirate. They launched repeated, costly campaigns to subdue her, attempting to capture her strategic castles and crush her influence. Grace, however, proved maddeningly elusive and astonishingly resilient, constantly adapting her tactics, using her intimate knowledge of the terrain, and leveraging her intricate network of clan loyalties. Her very existence, a powerful, independent female leader defying English authority and refusing to be tamed, was a continuous, festering act of defiance to the patriarchal and colonial ambitions of the Elizabethan court, a thorn in the side of imperial expansion. The most iconic and audacious deeds of Grace O'Malley's life unfolded in 1593. With her sons and half-brother brutally imprisoned by the ruthless English governor, Sir Richard Bingham, and her ancestral lands under dire threat, Grace, now a woman in her 60s, her face weathered by salt and sun, decided on a desperate, unprecedented gamble. She sailed directly to London, bypassing all traditional protocols, all male intermediaries, to seek a direct audience with Queen Elizabeth I herself. This was an act of breathtaking courage and political audacity, a move that stunned both Irish and English alike. An Irish pirate queen, speaking no English, they conversed in formal Latin, a testament to both their intellects, facing the formidable Virgin Queen of England, whom she famously refused to curtsy to, seeing them as absolute equals, two queens meeting on their own terms. The meeting was a legendary clash of wills, personalities, and power. Grace, dressed in her traditional, stark Irish attire, reportedly carried a concealed dagger, a silent threat, and when offered a delicate lace handkerchief after spitting, a common Irish custom, she famously, disdainfully, threw it into the roaring fire, considering it a dirty rag. She laid out her case with blunt, unvarnished honesty, demanding the immediate release of her family and the rightful return of her plundered lands. The scandal of their direct, unmediated negotiation, woman to woman, bypassing centuries of patriarchal protocol, was utterly remarkable. Against all odds, against every expectation, Grace secured a partial, yet significant, victory. Her son Tibbet was released, and some of her lands were returned, a testament to her raw persuasive power, her undeniable charisma, and Elizabeth's grudging, almost reluctant, respect for a fellow formidable female ruler who dared to challenge her on her own turf. Grace O'Malley returned to Ireland, continuing to live a life of defiance, though perhaps with less overt piracy in her later years, her legend already cemented. She died in 1603, the very same year as her formidable adversary, Queen Elizabeth I, reportedly dying peacefully in her bed at Rockfleet Castle, a remarkable and fitting end for a woman who had spent her life on the high seas and in constant, glorious rebellion. Grace O'Malley's life is a thrilling, visceral testament to ambition, resilience, and an unyielding spirit of independence. Her deeds were not those of personal failing or moral weakness, but the radical, defiant acts of a woman who dared to challenge every societal norm, every patriarchal power structure, and every imperial ambition that sought to shackle her. She was a leader, a warrior, a mother, and a pirate, whose story continues to captivate and inspire, embodying the fierce, untamed spirit of Ireland and the enduring power of a woman who refused to be confined by any chains, real or metaphorical, living a life as free and boundless as the wild Atlantic itself.